Okay, look, you know I don't do vlogs on this channel unless I really want to, and today, I do. When I was 16, I asked my mum if I could travel from Scotland to India to go and visit my online friend Lyra, to which she replied, "Jack, that's a terrible idea," and honestly, fair enough. Not too much longer after that, me and Lyra and my friend Thea ended up meeting in England anyway, which was awesome, but not the point of this video, because we've been there, done that. However, this year, as a much wiser 17-year-old, me and Lyra made plans to go to Japan together. And it was going to be the adventure of a lifetime. It would be the second time that me and Lyra had ever met in person, and the first time any of us had ever been to this brand new country. So, why did this not happen? Well, me and Lyra stopped talking for a while because of dumb, stupid friend group drama, which was largely my fault. Annoying, pathetic, I know, and after a while we were like peas and carrots again anyway, but I decided I was still gonna do the trip because I wanted to. I also want to mention that in the only other vlog on this channel, I really gloss over any kind of personal relationships that are featured in the video, but in this case, the real adventure actually was the friends I made along the way, so this is going to be a lot more personal than either of us are really used to on this channel. Now with that being said, please join me for 17-year-old internet kid travels to Tokyo alone and at one point gets yelled at. Originally, I wanted to stay in the most dirt cheap bed and breakfast I could find, but at the request of my mum, I actually found a slightly nicer hotel in Aokigahara, Tokyo, and looking back on it, I'm glad I did, because Aokigahara is awesome. After that, and booking the 16-hour flights both there and back, there were two things that I wanted to do. One, start learning Japanese, because I've always kind of wanted to learn a new language, but just not really that badly, so this was definitely a good motivator to get started and spend some long hours stimulating my brain, and I cannot stress enough how much having a basic understanding of the language actually came in handy while I was there. Two, make Japanese friends. Because I was traveling alone, I was mentally prepared for kind of a solo main character journey of self-discovery, but I actually much prefer to do that when I'm home alone. Anyways, I figured I'd at least try making some online friends in Tokyo because it would be pretty gosh darn cool if I already had people to hang out with when I got there. Now this is going to sound a lot like an advert, and honestly, it might as well be, because I could not recommend enough this app called Hello Talk. When you make an account on Hello Talk, you select your native language and the language you're learning so you can make language partners. And it works a lot like Facebook in every other way. So I would see posts and moments made by people in Japan. The posts that I made would be seen by people in Japan. And through this, I have made some wonderful and amazing friends that I hope to stay friends with forever. And I hope you're excited to meet a few of them in a few minutes. I also made a 29-hour Spotify playlist, then legally downloaded all the songs so I could listen without Wi-Fi. And if you want to add songs to it, you can, because I think all the potential damage has already been done by my friends. Lastly, I did lots of editing work so I could afford to get food for the week I was there, and I got this very controversial haircut. To get to Tokyo, I first had to get a flight from Glasgow to London, which wasn't bad at all, because, you know, I like the Jeremy Kyle show, and I'm sure everybody in London was happy to see me again. The flight to Tokyo, however... Let it be known that I love airplanes, and that will never change, but after 15 hours of not being able to leave one without dying and killing everyone, which I thought about, the thrill of being in the air kind of starts to fade. The food was great, the toilet was great, had a nice suction to it, basically did all the work for you. The gentleman sitting next to me, whose hand was ever so slightly touching my lap while he slept, was great. The only problem I had was not being able to sleep. The night before the flights, me and my mum were going to be leaving at 3 a.m. anyway, so I decided to stay up all night on a Discord call with my friends, because I thought I would just fall asleep on the flights, but I could not do that for the life of me, and I have no idea why. The weird thing is, in the time between that flight and the next time I'd be able to sleep, which was like a whole day away, I didn't feel tired at all. I just looked extremely tired. My eyes were really bloodshot. I don't know if it shows up on camera. And my face was really greasy. And I don't know if that's sleep or my fragile teenage skin sitting in people's regurgitated sweat for 15 hours. But regardless, we landed. I mean, the plane was always going to land, but the fact that it did felt pretty cool and made everything worth it. That brings us on to Nihon Day 1. That's Japan in Japanese. The weather was so damn nice, the trains were so easy to use, and the people were quiet. However, there was no time for dilly-dallying because that day I would be meeting my first language partner, Niku. She was super duper cool. We ate food together from a restaurant that was built into the side of a wall like an ATM, and as we ate food in this park area with the sun setting above us, I was feeling reassured that this wasn't just gonna be me the whole time. Like, it just clicked in my head that everyone I had made plans with wouldn't secretly be lying for no reason. Apart from this one guy, but it's cool. It was whatever, he's a cool dude. We went to an arcade together, which had this huge underground basement area full of pastel-colored photo booths and teenage girls doing makeup. This is called Purikura, and I actually did have a gut feeling about what this was when I saw it because I'd seen it all over Hello Talk, but basically it's like regular photo booths, except it's made to make you look more beautiful. I find it terrifying, but despite being the only foreigner and definitely the only guy there, I had a lot of fun. I actually very nearly didn't get to experience this because I took the wrong train from Aokigahara to the city where Niku lives, and she thought I was playing like a mean prank on her or something. It was a whole thing. And although I hope we meet again someday, somehow, somewhere, me and Niku parted ways and I finally slept at my hotel for 2.5 hours. Which is good compared to sleeping 0 hours in the last 72 hours. I mean, jet lag's not real and I'm here to prove that, but you know. I thought I was cursed. Why would my own body, my biggest teammate, not want me to sleep? My mind was instantly going to Minecraft, because you know how you can't sleep in Minecraft if there's danger nearby? That was me. Day 2 of Nihon, I'd say, will forever be a highlight of my life, and it is also the day I got slightly yelled at. I woke up, got dressed, ate food, got a half-hour train, a 3-hour bus, and then a half-hour bus. Admittedly, I was more nervous being this far outside of Tokyo than I was leaving Scotland, but there actually was a reason I had come all this way. I only had to walk a short distance after the bus had stopped, and then I would be standing before Aokigahara Forest, aka the Japanese suicide forest. I won't talk on this too much because I want to make it into like a whole documentary, and it might actually be the next video, but I will say that this was absolutely surreal. The very thing that gets me out of bed in the morning is internet nostalgia, and visiting the site from the biggest online controversy ever made me feel a way that I don't even think there's a word for. It was like being really excited minus the happiness, because for those who don't know, this is a very famous hotspot for suicidal people. I didn't go very deep into the forest because I didn't actually have a lot of time, but on my way out, there was a much older man yelling at me in Japanese, and I was instantly worried that I wasn't meant to be in there. Turns out I wasn't. He realized that my Japanese skills were limited pretty much to hello and goodbye, so he got out Google Translate on his phone and explained that his job is talking people down from suicide. I'll talk about it more in the video I specifically went there to make, but I was lucky enough to have a conversation with the guy that I will remember forever. It doesn't seem like a very fun job to have, and I really hope he knows just how much respect I have for him. By the time I got back to Akihabara, it was already way past bedtime, and despite being in Tokyo, home of the world's most delicious food, I just got 7-Eleven instant noodles. And I also thought about watching something on the hotel's TV, but it was actually basically just porn, and I wasn't in the mood. Je voudrais du soleil vert. On day 3, me and my language partner Nagisa made plans to go and see Sam Smith perform live in Yokohama, and while I don't know very many Sam Smith songs, there was always the 0.01% chance they would bring Kim Petras out on stage. And meeting Nagisa in person was awesome because we had already spoken plenty over the internet, and actually her English was just as bad as my Japanese, which, well, almost just as bad as my Japanese. And you'd think that would make for an awkward experience, but it was actually really the opposite. We basically spent the whole day laughing at our own language skills and pointing out semi-relevant things like, this is so cool, where are we going? Japan is so beautiful. I also got to have my second ever Purikura photo shoot. Pretty cool. She also showed me the sushi restaurant near the music venue, which was from the future. You order your food on the tablet, and then it's delivered to you on a conveyor belt that stops at your table. Tell me that's not cool. Is that cool, Or is Scotland just stuck in BC? Also, while we were in the restaurant, we started using Google Translate to somewhat properly talk to each other. And I don't know why, but talking this way and just passing her phone back and forth the whole time was some of the most fun I've ever had. She then blew her cover as either an evil wizard or a very clever pickpocket by telling me to throw money into this little pool for good luck. But I guess it was kind of the opposite, because when it was time to go and see the show, Sam Smith had announced that they didn't want to do it anymore. Oh well. Nagisa gave me a t-shirt, we said our goodbyes, and overall, it was still an amazing day. On day 4, I would get to meet one of my very best friends, Yuki. Again, we had met on Hello Talk months earlier, and she had actually been giving me the occasional lesson in Japanese, which was epic. We went to a real-life Tokyo shopping center, just like in Citrus, and then we had a slot booked at the Team Lab Planet's Digital Art Museum. This thing was so much fun, and as far as I remember, there were 6 exhibits that were designed to immerse you in the artwork as far as possible. And it worked. I was very immersed. Sometimes you would get your feet wet, you'd get to touch things, and I'm pretty sure every exhibit had the illusion of being infinite. 11 out of 10, would totally recommend, but honestly my biggest takeaway from that day was meeting Yuki. Her English was really good, and she was able to share with me a few things that she loves about Japan, like these sweets, which I didn't love at first but really grew on me, and this tea, which I swear just tasted like water with the teeniest amount of flavoring, which you could barely smell and only taste if you took a massive gulp. But hey, I guess I'm not Japanese. Yet. That day before we parted ways, we stopped at this random place, and I'm not fibbing you guys, this was the most tranquil moment of my entire life. The sun was setting over the waterfront, it was a perfect mild to warm temperature, and the only thing that you could hear was this one guy. He wasn't even busking, he was just jamming out on his saxophone. For however long we must have been sitting there, I did not need a language barrier to be speechless. And I think this was actually probably the moment that bridged the gap between being language partners and hopefully having a friendship that lasts a lifetime. I mean, just the other day I sent her a birthday card, so come on, we're doing pretty good. Also, this isn't the last day I saw Yuki. She does make her return in like 1 minute. I did not deserve day 5 because I wasted it. I checked out the Harajuku street markets, which was absolutely not a waste of time because everything was dirt cheap and super cool. I found a lot of things that I will be wearing when I'm buried. However, I don't know what came over me, but afterwards, I just went back to Aokigahara and spent the day online on my phone. In my brain, it still makes absolutely no sense why I chose clicky scrolly dopamine over maximizing time spent outdoors in Japan like I had every day previous. It's just like, why? And while spending 3 hours on your phone doing random stuff isn't that unusual, it was a reality check when I realized, oh, it's now time to get dinner and go to sleep. Even just wandering the famously safe streets of Tokyo during that evening would have been a lot more fun than what I had chosen to do. So the reason I'm including this part is basically just to put myself on blast and remind myself to not be an idiot and make the same mistake again. And because I'm a teenage phone zombie, that is all I have to report for my second last day of Nihon. Day 6 felt like a textbook example of ending on your highest note. Me and Yuki, who I was really excited to see again, got to meet and see the Tokyo Sky Tree, which was incredible. It granted you a higher than bird's eye view of Tokyo, where the only limit was how far your eyeballs could see, and it's recommended that you go and see it at night. But firstly, buddy, how are you going to see things at night? And secondly, we had places to be. Yuki wanted to show me the ancient Buddhist Sensoji temple in Asakusa, which was actually within walking distance of the Sky Tree. The temple was very, very cool, very well built. It didn't look like it was gonna fall down anytime soon. And I also got to read my fortune and purify myself, making me better than everyone officially. The entire Asakusa area was really beautiful, especially with all of the parallel stands and stalls putting on their exterior lights to make up for the setting sun. Me and Yuki got some tasty snacks and some more slightly tea-flavored water before sitting down on the balcony of a Starbucks to essentially say goodbye. I was gonna have to leave really soon to get my flight at midnight, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't really looking forward to an airplane journey. Now, as a Sigma male, I know that there are only really two responses to any situation, which are make money or do push-ups, but in this case, me and Yuki chose to do neither. We both had trains to catch, so joyously, side by side, we ran through the neon streets of Tokyo, not knowing when our trains were, or even exactly where we were going. We were just making the most of our last 20 minutes together. As fate would have it, me and Yuki were actually on the same train leaving Asakusa. We just didn't get off at the same stop. It was a sad moment, but I also was aware of how lucky I was to have made such a valuable friendship in such a short amount of time. It was an experience that couldn't be bought or ever paid for, and it's probably the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. Sure, it was an emotional moment having to part ways, but long term, there's nothing sad to be felt about having made such an amazing friendship. Anyways, by this point, I was more than kicked out of my hotel, so I got on a train, then on a plane, then on a plane, and then I was home because I'm rich and I have a private jet that goes straight to my house. My main takeaway from this week in Nihon is how lucky I truly am. Most of us watching this have grown up with roofs over our heads and frequent opportunities to do things that make us happy, and as we take part in those things, which we absolutely should do, it's easy to forget that not everyone has that. We have absolutely won the lottery in terms of the position we were born into, and for me, getting the experience to travel has made me all the more grateful for that. This truly was the most amazing week of my life, and I cannot wait to go back and see all of the friends that I've made. If the next video isn't about a certain forest, it will probably be the next video. I'm sorry that this video took so long. I really am sorry. The answer to that is I hate school. And yeah, if there's one thing I don't hate, it's you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, because I know that this isn't what you subscribed for. Don't worry, next video we're jumping right back into the infinity pool of internet nostalgia. I'm also thinking of making the live streams a more regularly scheduled thing on this channel, because I've got some big ideas for them, and they're also a lot of fun to do. I like them. So yeah, Nihon was epic. I love you guys so much. Really, knowing that someone is going to see this video and hear what I'm saying right now is so cool. Your engagement, be it a comment or a like, or even just watching this video, makes this hobby so much more fun for me. And with that being said, I sincerely hope that you have a nice day.